We need to talk about this boy here, a youth copper who went missing mysteriously while doing his NYSC in Rivers State. Yahaya Faruq was posted to a secondary school in Ikuru Town, Andoni local government area. And on the 14th of October 2024, he vanished without a trace, without leaving any words behind. And up till this day, as at the time of making this video, he has not been found. And that is not even the strangest part of this story, because it gets even more confusing. So it was said that on the 15th of October, the principal of the secondary school where he was doing his primary assignment strangely got two visitors who brought a school bag, a mobile phone, and some properties that seemed to belong to him. And when he asked them where Farouk was, they could not account for this boy. However, they could only provide his properties. And that made the principal feel like something was off. And so the man went to the police in Ikuru town in Andoni local government area to tell them that a youth copper in his school seemed to have been missing. And there was no point trying to call him because his belongings had been handed to the principal of the school, including his mobile phone. So there was no way to reach him. And the people who brought the properties did not know where he was. They assumed he was in the school there. He was at his PPA. That's why they brought it there. When the police got this information, they figured out that, oh, in as much as he was doing his NYSC service, in as much as he was a youth copper, he also took on a part-time job at an LDM Chinese mining company in the community there. And that was when the principal pretty much knew that, okay, yeah, he had a side hustle aside from his PPA. So they went to the LDM Chinese mining company to inquire as to what happened to this boy. That was when they found out that he clocked in, that is, he signed into his job around 4 p.m., but he never signed out of his job. The managing director of the Chinese company was then questioned by the police, and he admitted to hiring him as a casual worker. A casual worker, I don't even know what a casual worker means. I'm assuming something that has to do with a security. You know, one of those things that does not include him operating the machines in the mining factory. And the managing director of the Chinese company also admitted to not knowing that he was doing his NYSC youth service, because the time he is employed is a night shift around 4 p.m. to midnight. So he gets to be at the mining company between the evening hours up till midnight. Again, it's not clear what his job was. The manager only said he employed him as a casual worker. Now, it was also stated that there was a site manager the night he vanished on the 14th. And the site manager, a Chinese man, was questioned as to what happened to this young man. And the site manager claimed that somewhere around 9 to 10 p.m., two strange men came on a motorcycle and Farouk accompanied them, but never came back. Now, the word accompanied was what was used. It was not mentioned that he had a struggle with them or he fought with them. The response made it seem like Farouk saw them and joined them to wherever they were going to, which doesn't sit well because he left his bag, he left his phone, he left his keys. There were so many things he left behind. He just went with them like that. It's hard to believe that. And I think it's probably why they took his properties back to his PPA, because they thought maybe he forgot it. Or whether or not that was a ploy or that was part of their whole plan is hard to tell. Because right now, the police have still not figured out where this boy is, who took him, and what happened to him. Many people believe he was kidnapped. And if that's the case, why then was he kidnapped? The police, however, arrested about 4 people who were on duty with him. There were other people there that day, and they were taken into custody for questioning. And it looks like the police believes that he had been kidnapped by members of the Ikuru town community. So a relative of his who reached out to me when I asked what they were suspecting as to, what could have happened to him, because he's not in his hometown. He's not in his place where people know him for a fact. So it's hard to say this was something that has to do with his family situation where somebody will kidnap him to get ransom. That has not been the case. The family has not gotten any call for a ransom, which means the people who took this boy wanted to get rid of him. But what did this NYSC youth corps student, newly graduated young man do to anybody that would warrant them to come to his side hustle to kidnap him and make him disappear for good? A lot of theories are flying around. Some people are saying that since he never clocked out of the Chinese company, he most likely died out of an accident, and the company, they're trying to cover it up. And that's why they pretend to go and drop his clothes in his PPA to make it look as though, they thought he was there. There's another theory of people saying that the community boys kidnapped him and got rid of him because the Chinese company employed him for the job, whereas they believe the job should have gone to a member of their own community. One of those things that have to do with, oh, there's a Chinese company in our community, so they should employ only members of the community. And this boy, Faruq Yahaya, obviously the name does not sound River State, but he's an Edo State, he's an Edo boy. He's just Muslim, I think. And I think maybe the people thought he was from the north and decided to get rid of him. I don't know. I'm not sure. But that is just a theory circulating around, because the community of Muslim people have also written a plea on his behalf to find out what happened to him. They believe he's maybe tribally motivated, and at this point it's hard not to see it that way, because why else would they go to his job to take him? And where did they take him to? What did they do with him? The last we heard of this story was that the police in River State were trying their best, that some people in the community are trying to sabotage the investigation. So there's always this politics being played around this case, which is really all the more scary, because why are they playing politics with the disappearance of this boy? What are they hiding? What did they do with him? Why him? Like, what is the reason? What is the motive? He's not even a member of the community. So what does killing him or kidnapping him do? The family of this young man are really worried. This is disappointing that a youth corps cannot be protected. Although people are claiming he should have just stuck with his NYSC service and not try to take a side job. To be very honest with you, sorry for using the word, but people who think that way, that's bullshit. Because we don't know what this is not a child, first of all. We don't know who he's taking care of his bills. He's probably fending for himself or probably sending money back home. So the argument that he should have just stuck with his NYSC is ridiculous, because many people who do NYSC also take other jobs. Because after NYSC, what else do we have? His relative who reached out to me believes that the people in the community got to learn that they were planning on retaining him in that Chinese mining company. And maybe somebody who works in the company, who is also from the town, from the community, may have got wind of that information and may have gone to spread it around. And, they just thought getting rid of him would mean the position being opened for a member of that community. And clearly, with the way the manager of the company was questioned, it is believed that they really liked him, that the Chinese people in the company liked him so much. And I think it's making sense. Maybe other people or other members of the community who work there would have noticed that he's being the favorite and he's being treated specially. And there is this conversation that after his NYSC, they would most likely give him a permanent job. But that kind of contradicts the manager who claimed that he did not know he was doing his NYSC. Maybe he used something else other than NYSC, but I don't know. At the same time, still, somebody in the company still took his properties to his place of primary assignment, which means that even if the manager claims he did not know he was doing NYSC, somebody did know in that company that he was a youth corps. Somebody would have known because they know his PPA to go and drop his property. So the community boys kidnap him and kill him because he was getting favored at the Chinese mining company. And whether or not that is the case, the point is, who did it? This is a crime. Somebody has committed a crime. He's most likely not alive, because why else would I want to keep him alive? Unless, of course, there was something else he did that had nothing to do with the whole company. You know, most times young boys who go to communities to serve, could it be one of those things that have to do with something else that we don't even know? Could it be somebody who, because the Chinese supervisor who claimed that he saw two people take him, that he accompanied, did not see it via a CCTV footage. So it was just what he saw in his eyes. So could it be that it was something maybe more domestic? I mean, he's not a bad looking young man, he's good looking. Could it be one of those girl related situations? It's hard to tell. That could be another theory. The police have not yet given us a concrete explanation as to his disappearance. The people in the community are also working hand in hand with the police to find out. And I personally don't think the people in the community are doing enough job. See, if you're from Andoni, you're from this Ikuru town, no offense, you guys know who did this. Somebody ought to know. Somebody saw something. Somebody know who killed this boy, if indeed he was killed. And let's assume by some God-given miracle that he's alive. Somebody knows where he is. And if you guys in that community are claiming that you're working with the police and yet it hasn't been found, then the cooperation is not 100%, because it's a scary thing. These are the things that discourages youth corpers from going to serve in other communities, because they are not protected. They don't feel protected. This is an example. Hopefully before the year runs out, something good comes out of it. If worse come to worse, he's dead, at least whatever is left of him should be handed back to his family so that they can get closure to this terrible, horrible disappearance. But you guys let me know your thoughts. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and keep following this page, so if there's any future update to this story, I will let you guys know.